Well, I know I said I wasn't going to take you along for the wash-in because I was just going to scrub in the sky gray mostly and um, changed my mind. That's never happened, has it? Anyway, so that's sort of the closest area of sky, continuing to frame in towards my focal area, and I thought I would just show you what I've done with the water. These clouds back here, that's just raw umber, ultramarine blue, a bit of white, maybe a hint of yellow ochre here and there. I've gone in here with some ultramarine blue and yellow ochre and faded to dark, went to a lower value on the edge of the painting. Then I've gone in here, gotten rid of most of the yellow ochre, so it's bluer. Not as high a value as here, but a little darker, as you can see. Now I've come down to here, and this band is, well, mostly ultramarine blue, and again a bit of yellow ochre, but I've added some burnt sienna to it. As we come closer, I'm washing it in that way because I'm going to go even darker now. The very bottom, I'm going pretty much just ultramarine blue and burnt sienna, very dark, because most of my really high value highlights in the water will be they'll be back in here mostly, but there'll be a few here. I don't want to get too high in my values as I come down here. They've got to be subdued so they don't compete with this area. But I'm still going to need some interest, so I can still have quite low value but slightly higher value than this when I lay stuff in with the knife. So now, yeah, I'm just wash in a whole bunch of dark stuff here. Don't need to get too fussy. Still thinking I'm going to have sort of a wavy foreground. It's not going to be, the general feel of it may be stormy, but we're in a bit more of a sheltered area here, so I'm not planning on putting any crazy waves in the foreground. There we go, a little bluer, a little bit bluer. And yeah, once I started painting, I thought, yeah, I may as well give myself some hints as far as the design of the sky before I go in. Let's choose up the paint pretty quickly. That's okay. That's what paint's for. It's for being chewed up. Oops. Too much turpentine. I don't want that. I don't want my wash at this point to become translucent. But it is nice to get rid of that white, eh? Helps a person to reorient their ideas as you lay the stuff on. Okay, now we will, whoops, that's a little low. I'll bring this guy about to there and have a closer look at it. Sitting up here, I don't mind the idea of having some clear sky showing. I know that I said that this was going to be a very gray painting. And sometimes I have a hard time just doing a very gray painting. It's pretty large to go too monochromatic. I'm always wanting to add a little bit of color into it. I don't think that I paint in as colorful a manner as I did years ago, but I think that's just because I'm more of a coward than I used to be. Some people would say, oh, well, your style has matured. Yeah, well, okay, I don't know. I do like the colors. Anyway, here's a bit of color. I'm planning on having just some deep, distant blue sky showing up back there. Oh, that's a bit strong. It's quite strong. You know, actually it's not too bad. It's darker, but that's fine. There. A blob of blue. I've done this plenty of times. Just had one small corner or one small area, peeking through all the layers of clouds, and it's effective. I like it. I like the look of it. It gives the clouds perspective. And most of my color is going to be here. You know, this is going to be sort of in general, sort of a steely blue, cold water. Really, just most of its color is going to be picked up from this area. Now I'll try to begin with this is sort of a purple. It's a dirty purple. This is a little yellow ochre. No, yellow ochre, cobalt blue, raw umber, and a bit of alizarin crimson in this. Just kind of try to decide where to block in the clouds that will not be very important. Or no, they'll be in the shade, I should say. Just because they're in the shade doesn't mean they're not important. So, okay, so that'll be the darkest of these. Very low value, that's fine. As I always say, it's easy to go up, much harder to go down in value. Unless your paint is dry, and I will be attacking this before things are very dry. Okay, mix up a little more of this. Because there are a few spots here that I'd like to extend to darker colors. Okay, well, namely it'll be the back sides of these clouds, because our light, you know, our overall light is coming from the left. Our sunshine, where it can get through the clouds, is coming from the left. I think this one as well, it might be pushed back a little bit farther back in the distance, and I can bring it closer if I want to by adding value, a higher value paint later, but for the moment I think I'm going to keep it unimportant. You know, I'm designing the sky, but the function of doing this is also keeping or being aware of the values that I'm using in order to, on this painting, in this case, with my technique, zero in on my focal area, stepping it up in value as I get closer to the light that I want to show. Okay, and keep some interesting shapes. And as always, I like to stylize things a bit, so we'll tend to have some odd shapes in there. That's fine, that works for me. Okay. Now, to what I have here already, I'm going to add a little bit of yellow ochre, a little bit of alizarin crimson, and no more blue. I'm just watering down my pile. So there's some residual blue in it, but not much. And I think to make it clear, I'm going to add a hint of white to it as well, so that even on our wash-in we can see that more clearly. No more yellow ochre, less than crimson and white. Yes, yes, that'll do. That'll do just fine. I don't know how clearly this is going to show up on camera, but that's okay. It's a mid-step. Eventually, it has to really show up on the painting. That's the important part. I'm going to provide a little bit of it on the leading edge as well. Just a thinner line of it. And also where this cloud meets the bottom cloud, the lower area. Okay, I want my most intense light in this area, very close to center. So I'm going to take more of what I'm working on here, add a little more yellow ochre and white. Okay. Just feeling my way around the canvas. See, getting a little higher value as we work our way closer. And this brush is getting fairly worn out now. So I'm not worried to, just sort of do this kind of thing. Gets to that point, it's for me it's just fine to make it make life a little harder on the brush. That's okay with me. Okay, a little more, going a little higher in chroma. Again, yellow ochre, alizarin crimson. And you can see it's a gradual step. It's really not big steps each time. Okay, and up again, alizarin crimson, yellow ochre. I keep mixing into the same pile. I don't have to wipe off the remnants of the remaining pile because I keep adding to the same pile. It's like working with the mother color. I'm just lightening it up each time that I play in it. And that is pretty helpful, actually. It's kind of like letting your system of mixing do some of the work for you. And a little more. So in a sense, as I'm working towards my focal area, yeah, the colors are going a little higher in value, but they're also they're just becoming a little cleaner. Now I'm going to add a little bit of white because we're on the home stretch. Okay, so I'm sure that, as you know, values are all very dark here so far. And that's fine, because it's the wash-in. So they're all going to be getting a lot lighter, but this is an important step. And for me, it's a very important step. You know, you can say it's just an underpainting, but for me, it's a very important step to keep under control. Yes, originally I was just going to paint the whole thing white and go with the flow with the knife and create it as I went, and I've done that, and sometimes you even end up with a better painting just because you're freer in your thinking and your process. But boy, you can really have a successful painting, and you can really screw up. So I played it safe again. I kind of prefer to have a successful painting. Alright, so there's our start. So I'm really glad that I brought you with me on this. I don't know if I've ever actually put a video out while I was just describing the wash-in. Anyway, here it is. Hope you like it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. See you soon.